Welcome to Midway Minute, everybody. My name is Scott Koral. He is Kevin Kaduk. And the Bears finally post a win, beating the Houston Texans 36-7, getting their first win over the Houston franchise in their history. So they've now beaten every team in the National Football League. Kevin, your first thoughts about the 36-7 victory?
It was nice to have a stress-free Sunday. I didn't think we were going to be stressed because I kind of felt like the Bears lost to the Lions broke us. And, we weren't stressed, but it was because the Bears just rocketed out of the gate, put together that unbelievable first half, 30 points. I knew that Texans defense was soft. And I really wish I would have went with my gut, knowing that the Bears were going to put up points. I flip-flopped in our pregame newsletter saying, I think the Bears are going to cough this up because they're confident. My confidence in them had just been ground into dirt over the last 6 to 7 weeks, and here they rise up. So, look, this is what the Bears do: they kill our hopes, they kill their draft position, and then they reel us back in. So they've got 3 games left: Minnesota, Jacksonville, Green Bay. They basically still have to run the table to have a real good shot at making the playoffs. And it sets us up for a lot of stress next Sunday.
It does. But let's get to what I think worked for the Bears. Mm-hmm. Mitch Trubisky played very well today. In his last 3 games, he's passed for 776 yards, 7 TDs, and 2 interceptions for a 103.2 rating. Trubisky played well, but I think part of what happened was Matt Nagy finally called a complete offensive game. Well, or Bill Lazor, but still. They finally called a complete offensive game. Where has this been all season?
Look, this Texans defense is not good, Scott. It's terrible. It's the secondary is an absolute mess. Up front, it's not obviously what it used to be in the old days of J.J. Watt. So the Bears were able to really do what they wanted against this defense. So I don't think we can run too far with it. Obviously, it looks great to see Mitch doing his Mitch thing. He's an athletic guy. He's never been the complete embarrassment that national media has made him out to be, but he's also not this guy either, right? So this week doesn't change anything.
No, but it does, to me, it makes you question, Matt Nagy, what are you doing? Why is it taking you 2 3/4 seasons to finally tailor your offense to the quarterback that you have?
Right.
And if it takes you that long,
it's like it's super fun when it's working, right? When he's rolling out and he's dinking and dunking, and we saw it a little bit in that first half against the Giants, 12 weeks ago, but we haven't seen it since. And he's a lot of fun. I mean, he's a talented guy. He's an athletic guy. He's not an all-pro quarterback. He's not that. But with the right coach and the right team and the right people around him, you can see. I mean, you don't have to squint hard to see. Okay, maybe Trubisky can win games in this league.
The defense also worked too. 7 sacks, forced 2 turnovers.
That was nice.
It's been a long time since the Bears looked this good on both ends of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, no question. Deshaun Watson. You have to feel for him. Obviously, he has a lot of tools, and Houston should still be set up well going forward because they do have that franchise quarterback. But, man, they really have a lot to recover from after the disastrous Bill O'Brien tenure.
The sad thing is, yes, I know Houston was without Will Fuller. They were without Brandon Cooks. They were without
David Johnson.
They were without David Johnson. They haven't really replaced Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of playmakers that they had just aren't there anymore. Mm-hmm. And I realize that. But the Bears have done a great job today.
Sure.
Sunday, making the Texans look to be the disaster that I think a lot of critics and a lot of writers say that they are right now. They're under fire. And I think they need to come back and figure out what they're going to be. Right. But the Bears also have to figure out what they're going to be.
Yeah, look, we knew the Bears were not a 5-1 team, but we also knew that they probably weren't an 0-6 team. They're a team that can go out and punch a team like the Texans in the mouth. And they should have been a team that punched the Lions in the mouth and probably won that Vikings game. So that's what's so frustrating about this team. We knew going in that, okay, 2 games here or there is the difference between 10-6 and 6-10. And they weren't able to squeeze out those games over the last month and a half to 2 months. And that's why they're in the position they're in. So now we're sitting here and we have to look, okay, they go 3-0, great. You get a playoff game. I'm not gonna look a playoff game in the mouth, especially in this season. Great. I mean, yeah, it's gonna suck when they go into that playoff game and get blown out by whoever, but it'd still be great, right?
It would be.
But now we're in this position now where it's like, okay, they're not going to get a great draft pick. So at this point, I guess, yeah, you have to root for them to beat the Vikings, root for them to beat the Jaguars. 2 things which they probably should, which then of course sets them up to be sets us up to be disappointed by the Packers in Week 17.
Probably, but let's look forward to that Vikings game. They got demoralized today by Tampa Bay, 26-14. They really didn't look good in any phase in that game. They came back late to score, but still, we are talking about a team that if the Bears have momentum, the Vikings don't right now. Maybe there's a chance. They're now both teams are 6-7.
Yeah, and you played the Vikings pretty well under Matt Nagy. Obviously, they did play well a couple of weeks ago, but you're going up to Minnesota. There's not going to be any fans in the stands. You're not going to have to compete against that. That's an eminently winnable game, and it's going to be interesting to see. And like I said at the beginning of the segment, we didn't have any stress this week, but that changes next Sunday.
Yeah, and Minnesota has a better defense than Houston does. Minnesota may have a better offense than Houston does. One thing they don't have is a better special teams than the Bears do. So I will give, if the Bears can do anything on special teams and then just contribute on the other 2 sides of the ball, they can win. It is a winnable game.
How about the fact that the Bears produced in all 3 phases in honor of Lovie Smith on the day he was canned by the University of Illinois?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it? I mean, I think every Chicagoan feels bad that Lovie just couldn't produce a winner at the University of Illinois. I think they loved him as the Bears coach, but his players loved him as the Illinois coach.
He got his big win against my Badgers last year, so I don't feel all that bad, Scott. But yeah, it was a big news day today. Bears win, Lovie canned, Tony La Russa pleads guilty, and we've got the Bulls' second preseason game coming up. So if you want to track all of it, make sure you're subscribing to Midway Minute at midwayminute.win. It's a daily newsletter that keeps you up to date on it all. And Scott and I will be back on Friday to break down that Vikings game in a little bit more detail. We thought we were out. They pull us back in.
Pull us back in.